Excuse me, can you give me a minute of your time? Here I come to present you how soda and other sugary beverages are dangerous to your health. As you can see here, the soda, for example, I'm using the soda Sprite. It have 44 grams of sugar. That is the equivalent of 1.8 ounces of sugar. That's the double the amount of sugar that you should take a day. That's what is recommendable. And if you want to take as an option, for example, I have here the sport beverage that is supposed to be healthy, called Powerade. It have 36 grams of sugar. That's almost twice the amount of sugar that is advisable for you to drink or take in a day. So it doesn't matter how healthy it looks, and it says for athletes, it's dangerous for yourself, just as soda.
With perceived obsolescence, we see how business owners market their own products in a way that makes you think that if you don't buy the last product that came out or the most expensive one, you're no good or you're doing things wrong. They do this in a way that they use public figures, internet icons, or influencers such as rappers or people that are usually on screen to just talk about their products or rap about them or just in quotation marks or just flex with them, which is just showing that they're cool with it. In the case of the poster, we see how the shoes at the top, which are the ones that are promoted that way, none of them go under the $200 mark. The cheapest one is the Nike shoes, the Jordans, which is $180, which was in discount. In the case of the shoes below, they usually don't get this type of marketing. None of them go over the $80 mark. They're pretty conventional shoes, pretty consistent shoes with same kind of material. This would be DC shoes, Vans, Etnies. In the other case, you see only Gucci, J's, which are the Jordans and the Yeezys. Each one of them has a song. So, Gucci Gang, about Lil Pump. J's on My Feet, which is our Jordans, and the Yeezys. The Yeezys are all about Kanye West, one of the biggest, most influencing rappers here in the world. These guys talk about us in a way that if you don't buy their products, you are no good. And that's not what ethically should be promoted. I think it's wrong and it should stop.
How they are fooling us. Nowadays, there exist products that are designed to last some time and then be wasted. This is called planned obsolescence. Believe it or not, most of the business to it, especially in the technology market. This may be the reason why the electronics in our grandparents' house remain the same of when they bought it. Now, I'm going to give some examples with two common things we bought nowadays: phones and TVs. Phones' general lifespan, following the studies of the Consumer Technology Association (CTA), is of 4.7 years, or even less, depending on how careful you are. This is because nowadays they are made with cheap materials, and the fact that some companies even make softwares that slow down the old models, eventually making it collapse. TV's lifespan is of 7 years, sometimes more, following the reports from the CTA also. And this time, it loses brightness, forcing the consumer to buy a new one. They are also made with cheap materials. Something both have in common is that they are not designed to be repaired.
As we're talking to people about the products they usually buy in the supermarket, I was intending to educate them in a way that they knew that buying cheap products from really large corporations can be dangerous at some point. The answer was pretty surprising. They were conscious about it, but not as to why. They knew that it was suspicious, but they never knew as to why. The fact is that we try to show them that these large corporations never really show what they use to make their products, what they use to make their products travel throughout the world and to stay preserved in good conditions. They never knew, and they never stopped to think about it. Another fact is that they never really consider the fact that these large corporations get to manufacture from ham, turkey breast, cheese, to fabric softeners, oil, vegetable oil, and even underwear. They were pretty shocked about that too. And the case here is really important because here in Panama, one of the largest companies that sell all these products is Member Selection because of PriceSmart. Because of PriceSmart is such a big corporation here, and people just buy them trusting blindingly without actually checking the fact that they do not put their ingredients in their products.
Good morning. Can you give me a minute of your time? Today I'm going to talk to you about these beauty brands that still test on animals. It is very dangerous for the environment that these companies take animals away from the nature and make tests on them, most of the times killing them and causing deformations to their health. Here are some of the most famous beauty brands that still test on animals, like Estee Lauder, Lancome, CoverGirl, Avon, Revlon, and MAC. These ones are the most famous brands, and these are the ones that cause most damage to the health of animals. And we should encourage the government to punish them and regulate more about this animal mistreating. And we should not buy these brands and start buying some brands that they don't that are called cruelty-free brands who don't test on animals. Thank you for your time.
Child labor. Nowadays, big brands look for the best way to make products in a really low rate. How they made this? The answer is child labor. This is because they are lack of fellow feeling. This is basically that compassion or sympathy that you feel towards people that are struggling or suffering in front of us. This could be because of two reasons. One, blind eyes, blind heart. Because of the distance, they absolutely know the method that they are using. But as they do not see how are the conditions in the workplace or who are they do not feel guilt. And the second reason could be that they are just used to it. Good examples of these companies are Nestle, Nike, and Apple.